have a giant book haul. Alrighty, I am ready for my book haul. I had to kind of get all these books sorted out, and now they're sorted. The title of this video is not an exaggeration. I did actually buy 38 books, and I'm not completely crazy. These are not all for me. I do have a little Etsy business, and it is blind date with a book. That's what I sell on there, so most of these are for that business. But I do want to say I always buy books that I myself would read or I myself find interesting enough. So obviously these are all books that I genuinely would want to read one day, and then there are about 10 or so that I actually did buy for myself. So I'll show you guys those also and let you know why I bought them. But let's just start because I don't want this to be too long. I'm not going to review and go in depth like for all of the books because then this video would be like 40 minutes long. And we don't need that. So I'm gonna quickly go through them and then explain more of the ones that I'm more familiar with. Okay, so we have 80 Days to Elsewhere. This is so cute. Like the cover is adorable. It's Berkeley, that's the publishing house. This is a cute little rom-com. The Bookshop by the Bay, another little romance. A Gentleman in Moscow. This is a historical fiction book, which I actually have heard a lot about, and it is now a Paramount original series. The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware, very well-known author, and this is a thriller mystery. The Perfect Guests. Just look at this cover. Like it looks so good and I actually want to read it because of the cover alone. The Other Woman by Sandy Jones. This is a Reese's Book Club pick, and one of these genres on my like little Etsy store is Reese's Book Club, so I want to always make sure that I have some of these in stock. Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. I feel like I've seen this cover before and it looks interesting. The cover's really pretty as well. A River of Royal Blood. Now this is more of a fantasy pick and I do not read fantasy very much. This is more YA fantasy, but I picked it up because of course that is one of the genres that I offer. American Royals. This is giving me like Crazy Rich Asians vibes. The Other Passenger. This one looks interesting as well. I believe this is also a thriller mystery. The Lies I Tell, another thriller mystery. The cover is so adorable. This is giving me like, I don't even know what type of vibes. I feel like could be a TV show just based on the cover itself. The Nurse's Secret. This is a historical fiction book about the 1880s in New York with a nurse. I looked this one up actually and it was like really well reviewed on Goodreads. So this one definitely looked interesting and I can't wait to stock it in my shop. We have Queenie by Candace Carty-Williams. I've actually picked this one up before and sold it before, and I genuinely want to read this one. This is a book club one. It says book club favorites. I don't know which book club essentially or like specifically. And I think this one's more of a women's fiction, contemporary fiction. I got a Colleen Hoover book. It is called Regretting You, and I actually own this book as well. It's somewhere in this library. I haven't read it, but I have heard good things about this, and when I found Colleen Hoover, she's just a really popular author, so I figured I would pick this book up. Next up is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I don't own or buy very many classics, and this one I've actually read before and it's really good. I do enjoy it and I do recommend it, so I figured I would stock this classic. Lady Clementine. This is giving historical fiction, maybe a little bit of a romance, and it takes place in London. Long Division. This book was so cute. Like I just saw it and I knew I had to have it. I think the author did a really good job with the like cover and the back page. This is more of a YA, I think, coming of age type of book. Next up, They Both Die at the End. I have never read this book, but this book took TikTok by a storm in like 2020. I just remember seeing it everywhere. I think this is a YA like type of book, but I am pretty interested in this one and I wouldn't mind reading it because I just know so many people have read this and hyped it up, and I'm just genuinely curious as to what it's about. Next up, Maggie Finds Her Muse. It's another type of like a rom-com. I think the freaking cover is so cute. You can see the Eiffel Tower like back here. Next up, The Longest Echo, another historical fiction book. This one called Must Love Books. The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. This is a thriller mystery that I actually have read before and I think I do own it as well. I actually really enjoyed this book. I thought it was great, like well written. There is a Netflix like show or series based on it as well, but I did not like that at all. Like I thought it was cringy and I just did not like it. The book is 100 times better. All Things Cease to Appear. This is also a thriller mystery and it intrigued me because the cover itself is very like ominous and I just like how it looks. It's very simple, very minimalist, but it just looks like I want to pick it up and know what it's about. There's like a cabin in the woods. Next up is While We Were Dating. This is another Berkeley publishing house, so it's just another little rom-com. Oh, this one's by Jasmine Guillory, which I feel like I have. Guillory? Actually, don't know how to say the last name, but I think I have a few of her other books, and I've read them before. Not my favorite author, but her books are good for like an easy to read rom-com. Next up is American Bitaya. This one's also YA, more of a coming of age story. Love, Lists, and Fancy Ships, another Berkeley publishing rom-com. And last but not least, Same Beach Next Year. This is just another kind of contemporary romance. So those are all of the books that I bought to stock my store. I do have other ones in stock, so if you guys want to grab some, go ahead, feel free, but it's not guaranteed you'll get one of these because I do have other ones as well. I just had to stock up some more, so I made a trip to the bookstore and I got a bunch of books. I literally feel like I blacked out when I went in there. They just had such good stock. I usually will go in and buy maybe 10, maybe 13 if I'm feeling crazy, but this time I literally purchased 38 books, which I've never done before, and I literally had to take stacks up to the front, like cashier, and be like, can you hold these? Because there was no way I can carry around 38 books. So it was a pretty crazy experience. It was so much fun, and it literally happened today. I'm just looking back and I'm like, I don't even remember what happened. There was just so many books. I literally feel like I could have bought more, but I was like, 40 is enough. Like, that's too much. Relax. Now I'm gonna show you guys some of the ones that I bought for myself and give you reasons as to why I bought them. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna make such a huge mess with all of these books. Give me a second. My book stacks are literally falling everywhere. Okay, let me show you guys the ones that I picked up for myself. First one is Maybe Next Time by Seska Major. This cover is so cute. It's not the London Bridge, it's the Tower Bridge, I think is called. That's in London. This is a Reese's Book Club pick, and I actually am an avid Reese's Book Club pick reader. I love this book club, and this is one of their newer releases actually, and this is the only hardback that I actually bought and picked up. Crazy, but I know this is one of their more recent picks, I think from this year, so that is why I picked it up. And I collect, like I have my own little collection of Reese's Book Club picks, so this is going towards that collection. Next up is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This book is very, very popular. This is, I think, a YA like series, and I actually just read The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes like a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed that, and that's its own series. This is another one of her like YA series, and I've obviously heard so much about this one, so when I saw it I was like, okay, I think I have to get it. I'm just interested to see if I'll end up reading it. If I don't pick it up like too soon, I'll probably end up putting it in stock for my Etsy shop because I don't want to hold on to it if I'm not going to read it. Next is a book by Jodi Picoult. This is The Book of Two Ways. I actually don't even know what this is about. I honestly just picked it up because I feel like I've seen this cover before. I feel like it's a popular book, and then the author herself is definitely a popular author, one that I've definitely heard of, and so I wanted to pick it up. I think I have read another one of her books. I think I read Mad Honey. I don't know if she's the one who wrote that one. I'll have to double check, but I did enjoy that one, and again, she's just a really popular author, and I feel like I've seen this book before, so that's why I picked it up. Couldn't even tell you the genre of it, to be honest. Next up is True Biz by Sarah Novick. This is also a Reese's Book Club pick. This cover is really pretty. I do remember seeing it. I keep track of like all the Reese's Book Club picks that I do read, so I don't own this one. Definitely wanted to add it to my collection. Next is The Fortnight in September. I couldn't tell you squat about what this book is about, but just look at this cover. It's absolutely beautiful. This is giving such summer vibes. I also really like the texture of the pages. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not like a regular paperback. It's one of those ones that has like some texture, and it's one of the ones that have like this little fold out cover, and I don't know, I just really like it. I think it's a really pretty, gorgeous book, and that's my only reason for keeping it is the cover. Next up, another Reese's Book Club pick, Northern Spy. This one is giving me like Ireland vibes. I think it's a thriller mystery. You can just kind of tell, or that's what I'm assuming just from the cover. Next is Karen Slaughter's The Last Widow. Again, cover is beautiful, but I actually picked this one up because I have read this author's works before. I read Pretty Girls by her a few months ago, or maybe last year, and that book was really good. It's a thriller mystery, and I will say check your trigger warnings before you go and read it because it's kind of crazy. and pretty graphic, but I just thought it was so good, very well written. Definitely very impressed with the author herself. So when I saw this, I figured I have actually not read one of her other books, and I thought this would be a good time to, so I got this one. And again, the cover is just really pretty. Couldn't tell you what it's about, but it's called The Last Widow, so it sounds pretty interesting. And on the exact same topic, I picked up another book by the same author, Karen Slaughter, False Witness. I don't know if I'm gonna end up keeping both of these. I might change my mind and put one up for stock. It just depends, but for now I'm gonna keep them for myself, and then we'll see if I get to them. I don't wanna hold on to them too long if I don't end up reading them. Next up is Delilah Green Doesn't Care. This is actually a book that I have read already, and I actually really liked it. It was a rom-com contemporary romance. It's an LGBTQ type of romance, and I've never read another book like it or since, and it was my first of this type, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. I think about it sometimes and I'm like, it had some really good scenes that stand out. So I decided to buy it. I saw it, I picked it up, and I'm gonna add it to my collection, and with this one goes this one in hand, Astrid Parker Doesn't Fall. I believe this is kind of like a series, and I think there's a third one out as well. And I read this one, haven't read this one, saw both of them, decided to pick them up, and I'm just gonna keep them, and then if I ever finish this one, if I ever read it and then pick up the third one, I'll have the little collection. Last but not least is Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grann. This is the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. This is actually like the birth of the FBI, and I watched the movie, extremely long movie. I did enjoy it, but I figured I would keep the book and see if I could read it because I did like the movie, and the story itself is very interesting, so I might just end up reading it. So I'm gonna pick it up and keep it and add it to my collection. But those are all of the books that I got. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this pretty quick book haul, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.